Hi, and welcome to the Stock Scores Market Minutes for July 24th, 2017. This week's topic, when to work hard, plus my weekly market analysis and the trade of the week on AEZS. When to work hard. Traders should work hard on their strategy development, on their process, on improving their trading skills. Working hard to uncover opportunities usually means you're finding opportunities that shouldn't be found. The marginal trades. Good trades should be easy to find if you have a good strategy and process. Now, work hard when the market is easy, when the opportunities are plentiful. But when the market is slow, don't force it. Just let the trades come to you. If you work too hard, you may uncover marginal trades. All right, let's get into this week's analysis. This is the S&P 500. You can see over the last 2 weeks, we've had some decent strength. We are in an upward sloping channel. A little bit of pullback on Friday, taking us down to the bottom of the channel. Not a big negative yet, but that could turn into a breakdown because we have formed a falling top. So we'll want to watch for that next week. Long term, the medium-term trend is up. The long-term trend is up. And so you have to remain a bull until either of those trades or trends are broken. On the small caps, we just stuck sideways. We've talked about this many, many times. We do have some optimism building. You can see there we're in a bit of an ascending triangle. We had a breakout a couple of weeks ago. We just not have had any follow through yet, but it does feel like this is going to be the next area of strength because we have built such a lengthy sideways consolidation pattern. So we'll want to watch for that. On the Canadian market side, of course, we've had weakness in gold and oil, and that has brought weakness to the overall Canadian market, but it has stabilized somewhat, and we are now starting to build some rising bottoms there. Again, this is the short-term chart. So we'll see if that can develop into something. For now, it's a neutral chart at best. Now, the long-term chart, you can see the upward trend line was broken. We've got a little bit of a downward trend line there. So I am bearish on the Canadian market long-term, but not sharply so. We're not like we have this, sharp sell-off like we had last in 2015 going into 2016. It's more of a drift lower as those commodity stocks drag the Canadian market lower. On the TSX Venture, you can see we've got a series of falling tops, and that is basically telling us that the sellers are in control there, but it is still not a sharp downward move. We are seeing, less intensity to the downside, so we'll need to keep an eye on this as it may start to turn as we get commodity prices turning around. On the U.S. Treasury bond market, the little bit of an upward move there last week, but still kind of stuck in this narrow upward sloping channel. That means interest rates going down slightly, but if we were to break down through that trend line, we'd be back to test the lows here. So I don't consider this a good or bad market. It's kind of a neutral sideways market, one that you want to be cautious with. If you're thinking about getting a mortgage, well, you may see this uptick a little more here and interest rates come down, but I don't think it's going to be sharply so. On the US dollar, we've got a little bit of a parabolic move to the downside on the US dollar, but we're now nearing support where the market should bounce. We've got a number of support zones here, so look for the market to bounce in the US dollar. I think we could see one more big down week before it does bounce, but anytime trends start to go parabolic after they've been trending lower for a while, it's an indication that we may be getting to the end when we ultimately see the trend turn around. Now, gold is stuck in this pennant pattern. There's the pennant, so we've got rising bottoms, we've got falling tops. It's basically a neutral pattern. If it can break to the upside through the top of that pattern, then we're bullish. If it comes back and penetrates to the downside, we're back to bearish, but I would call this a somewhat neutral chart in this time frame anyway. On the oil side, we had a little bit of a rally the last couple of weeks, and people might say, hey, the worst is over, but we do have a downward sloping channel still intact. You can see the downward sloping channel there. We've basically risen up to the top of the channel where price should now go back down again. If instead it can consolidate and then break to the upside, well, then that means that this pullback may be done for the medium term. But for now, I want you to remain bearish on oil. And on fear, hey, we broke down to new lows. Fear is really low. Basically, this means volatility is really low. And you get that sense in trading. There's very little volatility. The market is drifting higher. and not moving higher on any optimism or buyer enthusiasm. So as I say then, US markets are floating higher on very light summer volume. Volatility is low. It seems like the market is going up because of a lack of sellers, not because of strong buyers. The Canadian market is trying to stabilize as gold and oil prices do the same. They are also trying to stabilize, but there's still not any buyer enthusiasm in any of these areas, and fear is extremely low. Finally, the trade of the week. This is a swing trade on a Terna Zentaris. What a great name. I actually day traded it on the 19th as well, but you can see the eruption of abnormal activity on Wednesday, and you can also see the pink dot right there, which is my action candle indicator, and that told us that the buyers were enthusiastic. There was strong resistance. When you look at the daily chart, you'll see that there's strong resistance at $3, and that's basically where the stock got stuck. But from the entry point in there around $1.75 up to $3, that was a pretty good swing trade over just a couple of days. Well, that has been the Stock Scores Market Minutes for July 24th, 2017. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, have a great week in the market, and trade well.